Oh, I don't hear you. I don't know why.
Can you
Is
hear
it
me now?
because? Ah, yes. Now,
No, it was me. It was
right.
me.
Cool. I feel it's been a while.
It feels like it's so long. We didn't. I think I see you more often than I see Eva now. Even
That's how you work with someone.
yeah, or at least like focus attention. I
Yeah.
realized that. Yeah. How are you?
Good. A bit drowsy. I took the pill, like half of it today, and yeah, but still.
And so, but are you trying to take? Is that something that you're supposed to take every day, or just when you feel?
Well, like on the paper every day, but the doctor told me that like I can just take it like not every day. Um, but the thing I found so far is that uh I still feel a bit drowsy the next day, which is not really cool, right? Like
The
I
day
just
after.
the day after, yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's not nice.
right. So I'm trying half of it, but still like yeah, I don't know. It also felt like a bit weird today. Like first time like when I got like the full, pill, I had like less appetite, but today I had more, or like I didn't feel like I was full, and I was kept eating, which was really not good. So I don't know. I need to like keep taking notes and see how it works for
Until
me.
how many days are you taking the pill by now?
It's the third time in the last week.
Oh, yeah, but I think maybe you should try to take maybe like more regular than you see what happens.
Yeah, but I
No?
think then I won't function, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that you're slow, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So, but
good, but
then
like now it's a bit slow. I mean, like I'm not, I mean, working, but not full time. So
yeah, I mean now you can do it, so it's not there's not a problem. I guess it's different if you
exactly.
have to go full on. Yeah. Well, I really want to take that to see how it feels. I really want. So I'm really looking forward to see you to give me one of these pills. I want to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to see. I mean, how is that, to feel how is the difference with the effect of the Xanax? Because the
Right.
Xanax make me, it calms me down like until the point of sleepy to feel sleepy if I take too much.
Mm, yeah. I
But
see.
normally, this that you're taking is more like to yeah to help you to focus. No, supposedly
I think
that's more
so.
like
To have like
yeah. I
less
think
distraction. Yeah.
yeah. So I would like to try that because yeah, that is yeah. But you know what? Like, not make this too long or too complicated because already I was thinking. I don't know how you. I mean, how you feel. I mean, I see how you feel already. But also I was reflecting a bit on on the topic. I mean, we haven't never really spoke. I mean, more than just like complain about why we have to use artificial intelligence. We haven't really spoke about like I don't know, like there are some things like I don't know. There's just um some things that I want to introduce. We don't have to go deep into that, but I think we should talk at the point of this. I'm in the document
Yeah, I open it.
23, 12, 18, and
But did you
this
see
one.
the page I made? I posted on wait, no. I posted on Discord.
No, no, I'm not. What did you do?
It's something simple, but I can do this screen share like real
Sure.
quick. So basically did I wait.
Olha, pues.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work. Why? Oh, there you go. Oh wow, this is going crazy. What?
Let's go push. Nee.
Ah, okay.
Come here.
So this
Push.
is just basically I reformatted what Andrea was doing. I just made it into a page that is just continues
Mm.
with the
Yeah.
model that she trained.
So and okay, but there's not a way how to input this from the that there is not an interface the high level, no? Yeah. Like
Like
now,
not user interface, but
right now, yeah.
yeah, but what it's doing is it's taking the so you have like a fixed length, right, that you can generate. Like you say like 200 characters, for example, and then you
No,
get the text.
it's okay. So I don't know because I haven't checked how it
Yeah,
really works.
yeah. So like basically you get, let's say like 200 characters. So that's it. So what I did is if the text is like this length, then I will feed the last few words into the next prompt and then it just continues. Well, now it's kind of going really crazy, but anyways, I just wanted to see like how I can make it into my framework and then, start experimenting with it so that, for example, we can add user interface to it
Oh,
because
but
the
you want to
ones,
extend the
yeah,
limit because there's a limit of 200 words. So that's what
yeah,
you're
that's
saying.
one thing. That's one thing that I want to try to make it endless, but also I wanted to make yeah, like put it in the framework I'm using because I think she was using P5.js and that's also okay, but it gets a bit hacky when you start to like code a lot with P5.js with the text stuff. So anyways,
So, but what is this? This is running in JavaScript, right? This is on the
yeah, but
web.
it's just calling the API from the server. So the text is generated on the server.
So it's just grabbing everything. Everything is grabbed from the API, and they just convert
Exactly.
it. Just
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, wait, I just want to raise this. No, Bobby, stop with that. I cannot. Okay, I cannot deal with you right now. No, sorry. No, you stay here or say. I thought that we should start at some point, like to think like what part of the work we want to outsource
Mm,
to the AI, and also how much or authorship or authenticity is ours, especially when we use like then this text-based models, because it's it's not a button what you're pressing is like you need to, I mean, yeah. So it's not just a button that you're pressing to generate something, then you are feeding, if it's these models, you feed them with certain words,
right.
right? So, I mean, the way how normally this is I mean, these days is used is like by prompting. Also, if it's image generated or something, is by putting certain, yeah, by prompting. So, um, so maybe, I don't know, but that's why maybe, so I think maybe this is another conversation that maybe we need to have right now, especially because I think this is more in a higher level, I see. Um, and I think, for instance, like I want to understand how the low level in terms of tech work, in terms of using the tool. And I think I will do it at some point, but I think will be more useful at this point if I focus more in trying to understand more in a higher level how the team works. And for instance, like, and start thinking critically a little bit of this, and um, maybe at some point uh, then I maybe I suggest to do more like a session on like on talking on this, or and we can do a session also when maybe you introduce me of how you are implementing the tools that we are gonna have. But yeah, I think that I'm just like thinking that could be like a useful approach so far. Like you play with tools in an applied way, and then I just try to see in a high level what is there
Mm,
and find yeah, these things.
right. Yeah, I actually that's a good point because I was thinking like how do we continue with the tools and then like realistically, I mean, if we want to have something at the end of January and February, then we can't take kind of, design approach. I mean, we do, but the iteration we can make is quite limited. So it's better just, you know, I make something quick and then we review it and then it just go on with it instead of planning something together because that will take a lot of time.
Yeah, so like for now, I think, yeah, for like not in a practical level, and it's still like at some point, then we can do it. Um, I want to learn because I know like from the things that Andrea was working, it seems very straightforward. It's a notebook from Google. So I remember at some point I tried, so it shouldn't be so complicated, but still that's not the focus of what we're doing right now.
Right.
Like, and that we will spend resources in learning that. So for I think for what we're doing right now, I think is more important than I think just you do what you're doing basically. And I mean, we are in this take more like an applied approach, putting things, and I do what I'm trying to do right now. That is like trying to be more reflective of what is this. Um, Especially there is something that I think we should consider more. I think, for instance, when I speak about the authorship or no, like there's like I think these two topics are self-explanatory. Like, what is the part what is the part of the work that we want for the artificial intelligence to do in a in the construction of the piece? For instance, what I was suggesting the last days, the last meetings, was that I was seeing the tool as a compositional tool for you and me to compose. Um, but we could clarify more these things, that
Right.
yeah. So that's one thing. So that I think so that's one thing, the role of the AI, because that conversation can become, we should like focus some sessions at some moment and to speak on that maybe. And the other thing was, so this is one thing for sure. And the other thing is understanding that in a practical level, because the previous one is more a conceptual one. And then the second one is more, yeah, if we, for instance, like, we don't have to do that now, like, so don't think on that, but I think we need to reflect on um, if we are working with with large language models, are we prompting? Are we doing this back and forth of prompting, or are we just doing one process that's, for instance, like now you're doing, this is the text,
Mm,
or are we doing, like, is there more space for us, or maybe there is a user to prompt to play in certain uh, with certain words, yeah, to basically to be more conscious of what is, I think in the big picture is make the big difference between, or we are prompting or we have a button, like or there is just a button that it has an output,
okay.
like,
Yeah.
You see this? Did
Um,
you?
I mean like the interaction, or is it
Yeah, like yeah, like I think this, but it's something because I start reading on this. Like I will share that text with you, or I will summarize this. But it's just understanding the prompting is one thing because then you go in this back and forth basically of tuning,
yeah?
and then there are topics that enter there like how much we want to give for the audience or not. Wait, sorry. So prompting is one thing in itself, and I think it's quite complicated in itself because it refers just to language and the person who speaks and the person who receives. And that could be normally a conversation process. They go back and forth. So that's a whole thing that it's like it's in almost like an engineering process that you can think on that and communication just itself. But then the other one is more like a binary on and off. You know, there is an output that might be a
Okay,
spec if you just press a button. So
okay,
the two are quite different.
I see. Yeah, I okay, but and that's about us using it, or is the user, I mean the audience, or at this point doesn't matter,
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point that like you don't like this is something that just I start just reflecting. There are a lot of different topics that they are just loose at this moment because we are just at the we are doing two things at the same time. Always with the two things. We we are we are experimenting with the tools, right?
right?
So we are just trying to find just as a just experimenting with the tools, so it's scouting what is out there. And the second one is uh, from a choreographic point of view. Also, we are trying to compose. You know, so the tech side. So it's more or less like in a way, like right now, like you are the tech director. You know, that you're doing this tech direction. You're scouting and implementing tools. You know, and seeing in a fast way. And then the other aspect is the composition of the piece, like what are we gonna do, and
Right.
then enter topics like the dancers, the space, the audience, the props, sound, video, lights. So there are a lot of different topics, uh, but mainly I think I see it in these two ways. I'll just put it here actually because yeah. So, but so I guess not that I guess what will be smart is just basically do as it's but this is what you're doing naturally, like you're focusing in something that is more applied, and I'm bringing these things that I don't understand. I'm just putting it out and trying to understand in a conversation with you, like what are
Right.
we what are we doing,
I mean,
what do
I
we
still
want to
don't understand either. So it's
yeah.
right.
Mm,
Yeah, I think that makes sense because if we start with a goal, then like it's often difficult. Like we don't know what we can implement. We don't know what we can do, and we try to like start from the aim, like where we're going. Um, Sometimes it's just like the technology is not there yet. So it makes sense. We just experiment
mhm.
and see what we can do with what we have.
What wait, this is already the aim. What was the other thing you said? concept. Oh, yeah, we have a position. Something I was start thinking also, like reflecting a little bit of, but yeah, it's like, do we have to take a position? Like,
Mm,
it's almost like, do we want to say it explicit or not something like, um, because I think the main difference with the practices, like, is in the practice, in a way I see it, that is, wait, like, so let me try just to introduce this, like, hang with me, like, this a little bit short, is that I think there is this differentiation in between uh rationalism and empiricism, or expression, or empiricism, and uh that's the rationalism is basically things that you, so is coming through philosophy, that is that you live your life and you understand in a using your understanding, so everything comes with a reason, and you understand the world. So you can think of this like almost like as the scientific method, that is very rational, but then also you have the other side that is more about experience, and the experience is just about your senses and your perception. It's anything that is about the perception. So I think in the practice, my understanding from this, that we have, when we are in the practice, we are in a pure exercise, pure expressive exercise, when we are in the moment with the tools, trying to not think, right? We use these words often to, like, to not be rational. Um, so, and there's a lot of knowledge in that. So I think, so now the exercise is different, like, because before we were not like having, in a way, a compromise with anything, like with audience or with anything. Just we decide that's our practice and that's our space. So that's our sandbox, right? But then now uh, we are out of the sandbox. And so then communication, it comes there, like, what do we want to say?
yeah. I'm more like thinking like it's like sandbox, but the government is trying to regulate the sandbox. But anyways.
But but it's totally fine, because actually, because I have been reading a bit of like different things, and this is, I wrote to to Gabriel that I feel somehow um a bit tired of the exercise that I'm doing. Let's say, like, in the academy also, but also, I mean, this exercise of like documenting or translating, like for other ones, is very tiring, because depending on where you are, you have to modulate your discourse, and it, yeah, it takes a toll. And because you are within institutions, right? So I mean, it's a role that I decide to take, but more that you are within institutions, yeah, the more fucked up get things. So I think where we are is that we are with, and we are experiencing somehow institutionalization of the best practices.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean it's just branches that are institutionalized. It's not the practice itself in a way. Because we
No,
don't.
but but I think it's like, so it's interesting, but also is, but I don't know if we have the discussion. I remember talk with of this with somebody. I don't know if it was with you, but I remember I was like reflecting. No, maybe it was not you. That we have some opportunities coming up like this, um, before. But in my understanding also was because the practice was compromising itself to be a branch, like a speculative branch, or the workshop, or this is a performance. So it, like, if you think, for instance, the application that we submit, like, is a very distant process, the one that we are right now. or that's how I feel like the application we did for Molina and how we are dealing with the process, it feels very strange.
What do you mean the process? I mean, like if we're doing what we proposed or not, or is
Yeah, somehow like I feel that is quite distant somehow.
sure. Yeah, but
Um,
yeah,
I guess maybe it's normal, but yeah, I think I mean I totally I think this is one to underline that it has to be because we are in a process with institutions and we are trying to communicate something, and the easiest way to communicate something is through be, I guess, under the wing of an institution. Like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Um, but then because of that also is I think it's important to start reflecting where are we, what do we want, like I think
yeah,
this is an example, this is an exercise that we are doing uh, with the performance, but it would serve us like to also like to reflect like where are we, what do we want from now on, how much do we want to compromise of what. And it's not about that we have to create a story or something that it has a narrative or some, I don't think it's that, but it has to be with just clarifying our intentions, because it could be that we propose a
right,
performance that is the best practice on the stage, and then the intention is just have to not to think, but then
right,
that's the intention. But
exactly,
then let's just clarify the intention and not adapt to things because we have to. Like that was my feeling before we have the conversation with the last week with the AI. I was feeling that we are just
mm,
forcing artificial intelligence there because we have to. Now it feels more interesting. Now it feels like yeah, it's yeah, my feeling.
I see. Yeah, yeah. It's just, I mean, also, like it's been like half a year since we wrote the proposal, so yeah, we see it differently. And I mean, also like last week we were more like hands-on about this. So yeah, so I think it is normal that it's like the process is well, not the process is institutionalized, but influenced by the institution. But as you said, the intention is something that comes from us, and it should be something independent. Like
Right.
if we start to like make compromise on the intention, or if this becomes unclear, then we fail. We fail. Like I don't know.
But maybe
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 it's
actually
doomed to
could
fail.
be interesting. Like if we think maybe tomorrow we should do a session where we maybe just meet and that maybe just check together. Um, Wait. So what I'm proposing is like we should find time and we decide if we do it together or apart, and then we propose something together, like just to check maybe just the hybrid dog or a practice, or just to check what we have in the past from these practices, to try to remember like maybe if I mean just to go in or in our own documentation of this process that already is like 3 years. Is it 3 years?
Yeah, like it's like more than 3 years actually.
More than three. In October was three, right?
I mean, we met in April of 2020.
2020. Oh wow. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's 3 years. Yeah. I didn't have
three
white hair.
3.5.
I didn't have white hairs in my beard when I met you at 20. But no, but so then we check uh what we can from the archive. So from the documentation that we have, and then per day, then we could just take some notes on maybe things that we want to share with the other one. Um, the applications could be useful because those are really on point of saying things. Uh, what I'm trying now is like to find my motivation is like to find in a way ethics somehow,
I see.
that we understand. So this is what we've said in the past in our discourse, and we checked and we were repeating these things often. So do we agree with these things today? Are we still there? Because that was 3 years ago. We are in different places, both of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it makes sense, no?
totally.
And that will be
Uh,
fun. And what I think could be fun for this exercise is that maybe we'll find things that you want to show me something that maybe I want to show you. Like maybe the same thing, or like because there's so much material everywhere.
right.
Um, so this is something that I guess it will take time. This
Yeah. And I think
um
it's good to like try to find the reference. I mean, like the reference, like which video, which application you are referring
yeah,
to, so that we can trace them. That's
yeah.
actually,
And
yeah.
actually
So it
that
becomes
could
like
be interesting also
metadata.
as a documentation process because it gives
Yeah,
one interaction.
totally.
We basically just do it, we record it and say like, hey, check here. It's basically I remember what Kathy from the academy when I was doing my documentation, she was saying that she was missing or that she would like from the videos that I put from YouTube, if I can mark some moments and do this director cut. So that in certain places you say like, oh, so here you can see that I was trying to play with space and time.
Mm,
And just like so it what we will do basically will be that because then we will have to go and show and then record some specific moments because we
right.
have so much. I mean, it's very difficult to say to somebody like go to through our archives and just find this what we do. um, Already is a problem with artificial intelligence, right? Because so much. Um, so it will be more interesting. Just I mean, it gives more a contextual point that you want to share, and we can start. And perfectly, we just start from you and me. Like, I think this is interesting, and this is the reason. And then this,
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah, I
makes
think
sense. Yeah,
that's
right.
good. So also like we can take some time, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah, because I was thinking
Yeah.
like to do it one day. No, no, no. We
Uh,
will have time. Maybe what we could do, because yeah, I just started yesterday trying to use Airtable because I think I will try to use with Airtable. You can use the API to generate websites, right? I mean, it generates a JSON format that you can just use
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So because I just check fast, and then you use Airtable to as a database for some of your things.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought like maybe we could try to use that.
Right. Sure. And we can just like do it separately at first, and we can like, check what each other's doing at some point. It'll
Okay.
be
Yeah,
funny.
because that's what I was mentioning some time ago in terms of typology. Because then I like that if we don't have to agree, that's a whole. I mean, it's like this conversation that people have, like it's kind of a joke with people who work with CSS, like trying to create classes in CSS is a mess because there is no, it's just words, right? So like coders trying to work in CSS, I heard as a joke is because it's a typological problem. Uh, how you see something, how you name something, how you structure something.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun, like to see how. Uh, but maybe can you give me so that could be used? Can you give me a short workshop of the Airtable of how you use it?
Right.
Can you just share
That's
your screen and just
like now.
I mean, I did yesterday. I just
Right. Let's see. Um, Airtable. Maybe I can just like start a new one and then like I can start from there.
yeah, maybe I can do the same.
So, oops, why am I
Are you
doing
recording
this?
this, right?
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, I usually start with a template, but I'll just make a new one. The screen is
I
going to
did it yesterday
package.
just by a new one with nothing
Okay.
because
Yeah. So I already have this best practices base, the work space. So I'll just make it here. Create a base. And okay, so this is like a default one. And
this is
actually, I don't
different.
know.
This is different how it looks on the phone. Not
Oh, I see.
it was. Wait, let me just try. I was just gonna open Airtable. Give me a second. Just
Yeah.
Airtable.
I think the call is ending in 3 minutes, so maybe we can just start a new one.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll just stop share and open back